Hey guys, Malcolm Moore here. Thank you for joining me. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about retraction turns, what they are, where you can use them, and what they're going to do for your riding. So I'm going to jump in, do a couple now, but simply put, they are just a really fun, aggressive, and lively way to make an edge change when you're snowboarding. Let's just tilt you down. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh yeah, baby. Oh dear. Someone's hurt themselves pretty bad, I think. Ça va? Ça va ou pas? Parlez-vous français ou anglais? English? You okay? Yeah. You hit your head? Yeah, take a minute. Let me help you get your board off. Whew, that was a bit of a close call, that one. That guy caught an edge really hard and hit his head pretty badly. But he wasn't knocked out, I got him sorted out and everything was okay. So before we get into retraction turns, I really quickly just want to show you an up unweighted and a down unweighted turn. They both share one thing in common. In an up unweighted turn, like I'm doing here, or a down unweighted turn, like this, in both those turns, I'm crossing my body over the board. So in both those turns, you can imagine this is my board, changing edge there, and this is you, and this duck, the queen, she kind of represents your center of mass. And in both of those turns, as you change edge, your center of mass crosses over the top of the board. Whether you're doing an up unweighted, or whether you're doing a down unweighted, your center of mass, the queen here, crosses over the top. But in a retraction turn, let me show you one. Nice. I'm literally pulling the board back underneath my body and pulling it right below me. Woo! So the difference is, in the retraction turns, your center of mass here stays quite still and the board comes in and crosses underneath. So there will be a little bit of movement like that, but it's really different from the up unweighted and the down unweighted, where you're crossing over the top of the board. In the retraction turns, the board crosses underneath you, which is why actually in some systems of teaching, they're called a low cross under turn, because the board gets low underneath you and crosses underneath you. Doing a great job there, isn't she? So retraction turns are often used by racers in slalom because it allows them to pull the board down the hill, whip it back up to get around the gate, and then end up higher up on the slope, thus giving them more time in the fall line and more time to pick up and generate speed between 2 points, between two gates. Now retraction turns are often demonstrated on quite sort of mellow pistes, and what that does, it gives you a chance to just let the board run down in the fall line, and you can start to get your legs really working underneath the body, retracting them up underneath you and then pushing them out to the side of your body after each edge change. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So, like I said, start off with a little bit of speed. Now whilst that exercise, it really illustrates the movements you make in a retraction turn. And it is a good place to start when we're learning the movements, and we'll come on to that in a moment. But it doesn't necessarily have that much practical application for your day-to-day riding. So besides when you're on that kind of mellow slope and you can do that exercise, when would you use it and when would you bring it into your riding? Well, in powder, or very chopped up, tracked out powder like I have here, is a pretty good place to start. And much like a down unweighted turn, which is what I'm doing right now, a retraction turn has the same benefits in that you start each turn in a low position. You get down really low, meaning you can push out against the snow, building up a platform underneath your board, which then almost kind of pops you out of the snow and really aids with that edge change. But in a retraction turn, which I'll show you in 1 second, that movement is emphasized a little bit more. It's a little bit more aggressive, and because you physically pull your legs back into the body at every edge change, it really pops you out of that soft snow. Because your body stays relatively still over the top, your legs are doing a lot of work underneath, but your body should hopefully flow quite smoothly over the top of all this cruddy soft snow. So let's give that a go. Ooh. Oh, this is tracked out, but you pull it in there. Whoa, almost got knocked off. Pull it back in. Woo, this is bumpy. Oh man. Whew. Nice. So just a few retraction turns there, and you know, it's much more hard work when the snow's all chopped up like this. But hopefully you can see, let's try and get a couple more, how, oh yeah, pull that board in and my upper body floats over the top, all coming from pushing out against that platform that I built up underneath me. Same thing here that I'm doing on the piste. Woo! So it works well in powder, and as I mentioned, racers use it too. Now we're unlikely to be riding slalom gates anytime soon, but that doesn't mean you can't bring that same feeling into your carving when you're riding the piste, using those retraction turns to really tighten up the arc at the end of your carve, and then suck the board back up into a higher position on the slope to then generate more speed into your next turn. So how do you do these turns? Well, first off, you're going to want to be quite comfortable making down unweighted turns. And I'll link the video for those in the description just underneath this video. And whilst it's quite similar movements you're actually making with your body, it's got a very different feel to them. You can practice down unweighted turns at slow speed because you're just dropping your body down to the board at the edge change. But obviously, as the name would suggest, with retraction turns, you're retracting your legs back in towards your body. And to be able to do that, you need to start off with quite a bit of speed, and you need some good momentum to be able to achieve that. Woo. All right, so we're gonna start off by getting the feeling for them on a pretty mellow, almost flat slope like this. And you wanna be able to begin with, just do some edge wiggles. So just rocking toes, heels, toes to heels. So keep doing this, and basically as you start picking up a little bit more speed, you're going to try and just sink your upper body down, bring your center of mass down a little bit lower, and then just push the board out to the side of you each time. So you're kind of getting the movements here. You can see my upper body is relatively still over the top. I need a little bit more speed. So I'm just going to get that now, stop turning for a minute, because you really need a bit of momentum to get these retraction turns to to work. There we go. I can really throw that board out in front, behind, and you'll notice, once again, my upper body staying pretty stable above that. Woo! Oh, it's hard work. I just spotted some nice snow over there, but there's a rope in the way, which I was about to jump into. My eyesight is not the best. So I shall continue on this final bit of piste, showing you that drill once more. A little bit of speed, drop down low, start wiggling the board, one edge to the other, push it away, and then of course, as the name of the turn would suggest, retract it in underneath your body when you make the edge change. Woo! Lovely stuff. So now you've got the feeling for them, let's bring that back into your normal riding. First off, you need speed. Then towards the end of the turn, you really want to push your legs away from you. This is going to bend the board into reverse camber, but it's also going to load it up like a spring. And next, you want to release that spring, release all that energy that you've created in the board. And you're going to do that by sucking your legs back up underneath your body. The board's going to want to pop out, come back up the slope. You make this edge change as you're in that low point when the board comes underneath you and crosses underneath you there, and then all you do is repeat the process on the next edge. You begin to push out through the turn, bend that board into reverse camber, tighten up the radius of your calf, and then release that pressure as you suck the board back into you, and repeat. Now these turns, these retraction turns, are only going to work if you've got a platform of snow that you can push against. So it works well in the powder because as you press your legs against the soft snow, it compresses underneath the board, and that's what creates the platform there that you can then retract against and suck the board up underneath your body. When we're doing it on the piste, you need to have a good edge hold. You need to be able to balance on that edge so that you can push the board against the snow there. So carving, it really is a prerequisite for being able to make retraction turns on the piste. Because if you're skidding out through your turns and you try and push against it, you're just not going to get that rebound and response from the board that you need to pull it up into that next edge change. Ooh. So, whilst you're unlikely to have a run where you make exclusively retraction turns, when you get that good snow, it can be a really fun type of edge change to just have a go with. And when you find yourself in the powder as well, oh yeah, it's a really good turn to do there too. It really just helps rebound you out from one turn into the next. So guys, give those a go. Oh man, look at this, redonkulous. Woo! Give them a go. I'm really not looking where I'm going. Let me wrap this up. Give those retraction turns a go. Let me know how you get on with them. And you know, it's not a turn you need to have in your arsenal of tricks, you know, but it is super fun, and it just allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with your riding. And like I said, in the powder, in the chopped up snow, it definitely works well there. It's not really got that many benefits over a down unweighted turn, but it can just be super fun and super rewarding to do. Oh, that is it from me for today. I'm going to ride off out. Sun is about to drop. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of you who subscribe and whatnot, and I'll see you next time.